What's up, guys? Today's Sue Reviews. I'm going to be doing my top 10 Star Wars movies. There's only 10 of them, so I'm going to be doing least favorite to my favorite. So number 10 is the Han Solo movie, and that's a 6.5 out of 10. I didn't really think anything too much of it when it came out. Childish Gambino did an amazing job as Lando. He was just a really cool character. There's Darth Maul scene at the very ending, post credits, was pretty cool. Nothing's really gonna follow up on that. I don't think so, unless it has to do with the old Kenobi, like the Ben Kenobi movie they're gonna be making, or is it a TV show? I can't remember either way, but that'll be probably connected with that, I bet. But it wasn't too amazing. It was just a little spin-off. Like Rogue One was way better. That's all I have to say. So 6.5 out of 10. It just pretty much shows how he got the Millennium Falcon, how he meets Chewie, and how he's just like, oh, he's the bad boy kind of deal, and and then it shows how he became that rugged person that we come to meet in A New Hope for the first time. And number 9 is The Last Jedi. And when The Last Jedi came out, I was pretty pumped because Force Awakens, I didn't like it a lot. It was a good movie. It was good groundwork for them to keep the franchise going and everything, and that's what it was. And then they had so much built up in that first movie, and then the second movie dropped, and fuck, it was like 2.5 hours of you could have picked out multiple scenes in that movie that didn't even need to be in there, like the whole Finn story arc where they go to that one planet and the gambling planet. And they literally could have cut that whole scene out. Multiple scenes. It was just fucking, I don't know, just brutal. Some scenes were cool. I liked the whole Rey aspect for fighting, but the whole they made fucking Luke Skywalker a bitch in this, man, a punk ass bitch. He gave up being a Jedi. Last time we saw him in the Return of the Jedi, that motherfucker was I am a Jedi Master, and he was he was the one to balance the Force and all this shit, and then all of a sudden we find out that he's just he quit because his apprentice turned dark and all this shit, and he tried to kill his apprentice. It was so, I just hate, everyone disliked it so much, and Mark Hamill said it multiple times, how he disliked how his character got, I don't know, just a really bitch ass ending in a sort of way. That's how I saw it as. But there was some parts in the movie where I was like, oh fuck yeah. The first time I watched it, I gave it a higher review, but I watched it the next day again in theaters, and I for sure saw the flaws to it. Watching it the second time, I was like, holy fuck, this was a really, the director's not coming back for the third one, so that's a show it. And I give that one a soft 5.5 out of 10, just because I like Star Wars. That's why I'm being courteous. Number 8, Star Wars Attack of the Clone Wars, and that one is the prequel, and that is number 2 in the whole trilogy of Star Wars anthology. It kind of that's so. After the 4, 5, 6, they released the prequels, and it's this tale of Darth Vader, because Darth Vader was such a popular villain at the time when the movies came out, so they figured that's George Lucas's way. He was going to tell of what happened to all the Jedis and how Darth Vader betrayed everyone, because he was a young Jedi, Padawan, and betrayed all the Jedis and joined to the dark side. And I liked it growing up, because it was my take of going, not my, just my time to go to the movies to go see Star Wars for the first time kind of deal, in theaters, because I was already born. Star Wars has been in theaters I think 3 times, back to back kind of deal or something like that. So yeah, anyways, there's some it was a lot of cool fight scenes in it, I gotta say, the total end scene with Yoda, Count Dooku, Anakin, Ben Kenobi, motherfuckers rocking dual lightsabers and shit. I don't know, I like that shit, but the whole part with Padme, it just became a big love story type deal too in this one, and little Annie. So I gave that one a 7 out of 10, a soft 7 out of 10. There's a lot of flaws to it too, but I don't know, it should maybe be lower, but we'll keep going. So number 7 is Revenge of the Sith, and that is the third one, pretty much, which sums up how Anakin becomes Darth Vader and all that. I gave that a soft 7 out of 10 as well. They spoiled a lot in the trailer. I remember growing up going to see that, and it was a big spoiler. Like the poster shows fucking Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting, so it kind of just like doesn't. I don't know. It just sucked. It didn't suck, but it was. You just knew what was gonna happen. All the Jedis and everyone. It's basically just telling you however all the Jedis died, and it sucks. And just like at the end, I was like, fuck, and all the Jedis are dead now. Like, it was just like, damn it. And it just shows how Anakin becomes so drawn towards trying to save Padme, because Padme he keeps having visions of her dying at birth. So that's his reason for trying to turn to the dark side and looking for more power to save her. That's pretty much his main premise of why he went to the dark side, to like learn, because he heard of this power in the dark side where they can bring people back to life. So anyways, that was my Revenge of the Sith one. What the fuck's that one? Number 6, sorry. Phantom Menace. And Phantom Menace is a 7 out of 10 again, guys. And that one, when it came out, it got such bad reviews because it was more of like a diplomat Star Wars movie compared to the first one when it got released. So people were like, holy fuck. Like, it flopped hard. The prequels flopped. Well, I don't want to say they flopped. They made money. They made money. But they didn't make as fucking much money as the 4, 5, and 6 back in the day. New Hope, Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, which were fucking phenomenal. And that kind of, after Revenge of the Sith, those 3, the prequel movies, George Lucas said he's not making any more Star Wars movies. And then a few years later, Disney CEO came up and like gave him a big fatty check, dropped the dick, and he's like, give me that fucking Star Wars contract, biatch. I want to start making Star Wars movies again for people. And so that's pretty much why Star Wars is ran by Disney now, because Disney came up and was like, we're going to give you all this fucking money to let you give us Star Wars, pretty much, and let us do our thing. So anyways, that was number 5. Number 6, sorry. Number 6, also, that was when, like, I think Lego Star Wars came out. So that was, like, my big, like, iffy. And I was, like, liked The Phantom Menace a lot more, sorry, guys, than the other prequels, kind of, because it showed the Phantom Menace, like, Darth Maul, the dual-wheel lightsaber. He was, like, a bow staff lightsaber. It was so badass. Guy said like 2 words in the whole movie, and he was dope as fuck. And like, I remember when I was younger watching it, I didn't really know like, I watched Star Wars a lot, like the 4, 5, and 6 so much when I was younger, just driven in my head. And then when the prequels came out, I was like, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And like, I didn't know what it was at first, and then I finally put 2 and 2 together, that the old, like, the master. And the padded one's Qui-Gon Jinn, and the other one was Obi-Wan, Old Ben, but he wasn't Old Ben yet, and that blew my mind, and I liked that more. And then we got to meet Anakin Skywalker first time, young Darth Vader, and that's when we got to see pod racing too. Pod racing was fucking amazing. They made video games of that. I hope they make another video game of that now. They should. It would be fucking amazing. Remastered, like, I couldn't imagine playing on the PS4, like, pod racing and shit. It'd be so fucking dope. So dope. Number 5, Force Awakens is pretty much, watch New Hope, watch Force Awakens. It's pretty much a shot for most of the same shit that happens in the movies. It was kind of trippy. A lot of people were like, man, I watched New Hope and then I watched Force Awakens, and then it feels like the same movie. And it is. And J.J. Abrams said he wanted to keep the foundation, like, he just wanted to go safe. He didn't want to go anything big. He didn't want to fuck anything up. He didn't want to, like, butcher the franchise. He did his thing, came in there, set the basis for everything, just followed the same route as A New Hope was, pretty much. And a lot of people kind of didn't like that, but I didn't mind it, really, because it just showed these new characters. We got to see a non-Jedi character once again rock a lightsaber, and that was fucking amazing. Finn looked so badass with that lightsaber. And then you got to fight too. We meet, it's just a whole new group of characters after Jedi Returns. It's like 30 years after Jedi Returns, and then we were like wondering, like, this whole big thing in the trailer. It's like everyone's looking for Luke Skywalker, the Jedi Master, the Jedi Knight, because he disappeared apparently, and he's been missing, and all this crazy shit, and then there's the New Order is upon us, and it's just all this crazy shit now. We're reading new Han Solo's an old man. We're meeting brand new characters, like characters that are bad guys turning into good guys, characters that were good turning into bad. It's just a great start to a franchise that it's just gonna the third one, the one that's gonna come out soon, The Rise of the Skywalkers, it's called. I feel like that one, I hope will be good. I'm hoping it'll be just as satisfying as like an ending like Return of the Jedi or A New Hope or Strikes Back. Anyways, so number 4 is Return of the Jedi. 8 out of 10, baby. I can remember being younger and watching. I feel like I watched Return of the Jedi a lot more because I was a big fan of Luke and I wanted to see him do just lightsaber battles more, I felt like. And that was the one, I'm pretty sure, that was the one that had the most lightsaber action, I think. I'm pretty sure, if anything, like, Strikes Back had way more, like, in training-wise, but, like, they had the duel and stuff, and the whole, his father, like, saving him, and, like, Darth Vader, spoiler, like, turning back to the good side, and defeating the Emperor with helping Luke and all this, and then them winning, and then, like, finding out all this crazy shit about how they were going to kill Han Solo in the movie, and then they found out if they did, they were going to lose a shit ton of money in toys, so they kept him alive, because Harrison Ford wanted to be killed off in a cool way, and they had it that way, but I guess they changed it. It would have been cool to see that. That would have been fucking amazing. Han Solo died. And we also get to see the end of Boba Fett in this one, and we get to see, it's basically after Strikes Back, so Luke is in Strikes Back, he's in a really dark place in the end, kind of, not in a dark place, but he's kind of just, he's wounded, so now when we see him, he's wise, and he's just talking all wise and very powerful, in this one, and I like that. Number 3, Rogue One. Rogue One was pretty much the prequel to A New Hope. It's so in A New Hope, they get the plans to defeat the Death Star. They find the schematics that has a small, defect in the big Death Star. And Rogue One is literally a bunch of rogue, I can't even, a rogue, I can't even remember, they're a bunch of multiple, people helping, they're, against the Empire, and they end up figuring out, one of the main characters' dads had to put, in, a fucking default, mechanism inside the Death Star for them, and it was a good movie, an epic ending, a lot of deaths in it. We get to see a badass Darth Vader shows up a couple times and he just looks badass. 8.5 out of 10. We get to see Princess Leia in the end too, and that was fucking rad. Carrie Fisher, it was awesome. Number 2, A New Hope. 8.5 out of 10. I could remember I don't even remember the first time I watched Star Wars, The New Hope, but I could just remember just all that fucking writing at the start, and reading for me was really hard, so I remember my dad reading it out loud, and I was just oh my god, this is so crazy, you never seen how to big spiel at the start before the start of the movie. It was usually just production of, and then just show a bunch of fucking who made the movie and who was a part of the movie sometimes, but it was different. And so many so cool characters. There's Luke, this boy who's stuck in this desert planet, never thinking he was gonna get off world. Ends up getting off world, and it's just he ends up going for a roller coaster ride pretty much, and he ends up becoming a Jedi Knight in the end and all this. But it's crazy. He goes through so much, learns. Just so many cool characters in that one. A New Hope. It's literally the start of everything that Star Wars was. No one thought it was going to be anything good, and then when it came out, it wasn't did you go see Star Wars? It was a thing where, like, how many times did you go fucking see Star Wars, dude? And that's pretty much what I loved about it. I watched it so many times, over and over, VHSs, 8.5 out of 10. I love it so much. Number 1, Empire Strikes Back. That one was so fucking... I don't know, for when I watched it, it just felt darker than the first one. And then we got to meet cool Lando Calrissian, the original owner of the Millennium Falcon. So I always thought that was fucking cool. And then we get to go to Cloud City, a bunch new areas. The planet Battle of Hoth was fucking rad too. We get to see, sorry guys, I got hiccups right now, Han Solo rock the lightsaber and save Luke Skywalker and cut open, I don't even remember what the fuck it was called, the animal that they ride, but anyways, it was so dope. Fucking saves them both. It was epic. And then that's when we learn in this movie, this is when we learn like who Luke Skywalker's father is, and it is Darth Vader. And it's fucking trippy. It was, I remember finding that out and it was just so mind blowing. It was like, no fucking way. Like, by the time I was watching it, I think it was like a thing on TV where like it was one of the most like known quotes ever kind of deal. Like about like it was on the top like 5 already. So it was like pretty much already known. It's like, Luke, I am your father. No, I am your father. I fucking love it. So good. It was so good. Epic. Fucking got his hand chopped off. They had an epic lightsaber duel. Han Solo finally gets caught by Boba Fett, and then he has to go back to fucking get. He gets carbonite, frozen in carbonite. Oh, it was epic. And then Princess Leia looks at him. He's just like, she's like, I love you, and he's just all like, I know, and then just jumps in. So epic, so epic. That made him so fucking cool. Like, girl says like, I love you, and like that's pretty much, he's been wanting her like since the first movie. The second movie, they're kind of like kissing, and they have like this like quarrel back and forth kind of bit, and then in the end she finally realizes she loves him, and she says it, and what's that fucker say? I know. And just fucking jumps. And I loved the actor that played Chewie too. You don't even talk in that suit, but made it so emotional for him too, about how like when Han got frozen kind of deal, and he's just like, look out for him, and he's just like just fucking screaming and shit. Like, I like that. That was cool. It showed like how much he meant to him. But anyways, with Force Awakens too, spoiler ahead, Han Solo dies, and the one part I hated, they kept the shot on Rey when she saw Rey, like when Rey saw Han like die and everything. I wish they would have kept the shot on Chewbacca and showed him more pissed off, because we didn't get to see him do his mourning and everything from like this in the second one either. There's literally like a brief moment where at the end, I think Princess Leia and Chewbacca, like he just touched her on the shoulder or some shit, or maybe hugged her, but like I was hoping for something like some hard mourning for his best friend, his comrade that saved him, and that who he saved multiple times on countless ends pretty much, and who's done renegade stuff together and have been together for probably like 20 years probably, or 10 years or something like that. But I love Star Wars though. The Jedis, I'd love to be a Jedi. I have my own fucking lightsaber. That shit is so dope. The Force, everything about it. I'm trying to think if there's any new Star Wars content coming out. I know they're making an Ben Kenobi I can't remember if it's a TV show or movie, but that's going to be coming out in the Disney streaming service. They were supposed to be apparently making a Boba Fett solo film, but that got like scrapped, so who knows, it might eventually come back later on. The Mandarin, no, am I saying that? Wow, the Mandarin, that's the Iron Man's villain. I'm going to say this wrong. The Mandalorians, sorry, which is it's like the group of bounty hunters, and that's after Return of the Jedi. Is it Return of the Jedi? Wow, I can't even remember now. I can't remember if the Mandalorian is before A New Hope or after I can't remember if it's after I think it's Wow, I'm fucking dumb right now. I can't remember if it's after Return of the Jedi or after Revenge of the Sith, during where all like I think it's when the Empire is like on a big rise. Maybe I can't remember, but either way, it's like the main character is a bounty hunter in this. He looks like Boba Fett, but way fucking cooler. He's got a cape, and fucking the trailer looks awesome. I'm gonna do my reviews on that when that comes out too, because that looks fucking epic, and I have to watch that shit. Like a Star Wars TV show, live action, like that shit looks fucking like a fucking sweet movie. The guy who did The Lion King and The Jungle Book and the first Iron Man movie, like Happy Hogan, that dude who's in the Marvel universe, he's a director. I'm gonna fucking butcher his name. I mess up names so much. Sorry, guys. John Favre, I'm gonna fuck it up anyways. Whatever. You guys know. Anyways, he's doing a great job. I'm so excited for that movie. It's gonna be epic. If you guys think I messed up on the arrangement, Star Wars movies, let me know. I'm pretty sure that's how everyone else feels about. And I gave Strikes Back a hard 9 out of 10. So anyway, guys, thank you for liking, subscribing, and commenting and watching the video. Don't forget, this is Sue Reviews, and remember, always believe in the Force.